years that you've been in the house trying to break down the head of the house, but now that someone else comes to the house and because they might get a car, they might get a good job, and you're sitting talking about, well, I don't have a car, I don't have a job. What did you do to get education? What did you do to get all those things? In other words, to me, I'm gonna say it like this. If and hear me, and I think I think immigrants are smart everywhere they come from, whether it be Latino immigrants, whether it be Somali immigrants, no matter what. Immigrants come here, they're very smart. But if an immigrant could take my job, I suck, not the immigrant. In other words, I
I feel
think
this
I
all
have
the
set
time.
myself right. You know what I'm saying? If I set myself up, there's no way anyone could come and take my job. And so therefore, you're sitting here you're over here talking about where they're doing this. My question is, it sounds to me that both of you live pretty well. What job did they take of yours that you're trying to punch down? What friend of yours did they take their job that you want to punch down? The fact is, you don't even know anybody where you live that they took your job, but you want to sit here and use the white supremacist talking points to say that they're doing this to you. But I guarantee you don't even have you don't have an anecdotal situation in which it happened to you. But you're literally just spewing these points. Now, one time did I say, hey, my friend on the block, he was working here, they fired him for this person, and I think it's wrong. You never said nothing like that. You just said a broad thing that, well, what jobs can a person with no degree come over here and take from you or your friends? That's all. What job can a person that just got here with no American education, no American connections, take from you and your friends in your community? The whole thing is you're not in your community. So you can say, I'm from the south side of Chicago. You're in the south side. You just live in the south side. You reside in the south side, but you're not connected to the south side. And I'm done. I'll drop. Take care. Thank you, Smitty.
All right. Thank you, Black Cabinet, for coming up once again.
Can I say something to that? Can I say something?
Absolutely. Arab pinpoint, whichever. And then I want to let Jim of a Jewel get an opportunity.
I want to say to that.
Yeah.
What I want to say that is, how do they do that? They do it by offering a lesser pay. You know, we come here, and I could verify for this for myself. It was a job position opening up for a forklift driver. I applied for it. It was $23 an hour. I had a friend that was trying to get me in there, and I went for the interview, did all that, came back, and I was dealing with some Hispanics. And when I came back, my friend said, man, they gave the position to somebody else. So he went to the guy and asked him, like, man, how much they paying you for this job? He said they gave him $17 an hour because he was a Hispanic person. But the job online, it was saying it was paying $23 an hour. So instead of giving me the 23, they went with the 17. That's how they do those things. You know what I mean?
So, but real quick, why is that not the fault of the employer, right, with the wage manipulation, and then two, right, the destabilization of that country that person probably immigrated, that Latino person probably immigrated to America, right, to create that wage disparity as well. And so I understand what you're saying, but isn't that the fault of, again, primarily the employer, that the employer?
Yeah, but to say it's fun, but to say it's our fault because we've been here so long and we had these opportunities. When did we have these opportunities? We've been fighting for civil rights. Actually, we've been fighting for these civil rights where they even here. We died for this. I mean, we got unalive for these type of things. For them to even be sitting here protesting about right now today, we had leaders that was pew-pewing and underlive.
That part, that part. I don't think anybody's going to argue the Black Civil Rights Movement and the impact.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is,
anybody will argue that one.
So what I'm saying about the undocumented immigrants, it's like you come here and you protesting, you raising all this havoc, but you wouldn't do it in your own country where you was at when you ran from there because you didn't want to stand up to your government. And we as Black people, we stood up against our government. We died. we died, we fought, we got hosed down with water hoses. We got treated like, I mean, the worst of the worst that you could think of. You know what I mean? We went through all that, and we still fighting that today. So for us to see someone come over here and reap the benefits of what we put in place, you know, you wouldn't even have a voice if it wasn't for Martin Luther King, if it wasn't for Fred Hampton, if it wasn't for all these different leaders that we had that was unalived by the government.
Okay. All right. Let me. I think Swan wants to respond. Jim, give me 1 second. Let me let Swan respond, and then Jim, I'll come to you next.
Yeah, I think, Red, what you need to understand, and the same with Pinpoint or anybody that's listening in right now, blaming the people who are marginalized is just intellectually dishonest, because they are not the ones that are at fault for any of this. We could talk about, like, if anybody was to be needing to be taking accountability, it would be the fact that we benefit from the exploitation of the people that are coming here from other countries and destabilizing their economies and taking their resources. So you have people who are trying to follow the resources. I think it's like the problem is, right, is that y'all are both uneducated on what our material conditions are currently, right? And to not understanding that when you criticize a person who comes from another country, right? Like, I think that that's wild for you to say and to do. But I'm just like flabbergasted right now. I'm sorry,
No,
but like, it's just really frustrating to hear the ignorance, because it is 100% ignorance. Like, I would suggest you both actually do your research, right, and to find out how these things are working. People who are undocumented in Chicago don't get SNAP benefits. They do not get SNAP benefits. So I'm not really sure what point you were trying to make when you were talking about that. But I think the problem here is that, to me, and I'm gonna be all the way honest, it sounds like y'all are copping out, right? You're copping out. We live in a capitalistic economy. You cannot sit here and say that the people who are at the bottom are exploiting you. That is just not how this works. That is not how this works. It is a people at the top, right? And if y'all, and here's the thing, this is the wildest part. Y'all fell for the okie doke. And I'm going to tell you why you fell for the okie doke, right? Because we live in a society where we are conditioned to punch down on somebody else, which is exactly what Smitty was talking to earlier. They convinced you, just like they convince white men, right? That if you can convince a white man that he's better than a black man, then he won't notice when you're picking his pockets. And they have found a way to do that with y'all too. They have found a way to do that with y'all too. So y'all are over here condemning the group that is not exploiting you. You're condemning the group that is not, they're not the responsibility for Chicago being redlined. It's not their fault. I also want you to know, if you're from Chicago, that Chicago, right, the reason why it is so segregated there is because that is the first time, right, that the term black on black crime was ever printed in a newspaper. 1969, it was printed in a newspaper. You want to know what happened? White flight. We're going to demonize these black people and we're going to get them out of here. This is how we're going to maintain our all white neighborhood versus the all black neighborhood, because then we can have our tax dollars go to our children, right? And we can have our children growing up away from those black people, right? This is why Chicago has such a bad rap right now. I need y'all both to know your history, and I need y'all both to understand how these things work, right? Because if you can sit here and actually blame people from other countries, then that tells us that you don't understand how capitalism works, right? And you don't know your history, and that is unfortunate. That is the first time black on black crime was printed in a newspaper. They demonized black people, and what the result was white flight. Both of y'all got to do better. I'm calling y'all out as black people in the community. Both of y'all got to do better, because you making us look bad right now. You're making us look real bad.
All right, Pinpoint. I'll give you like 30 seconds, because I do want to go Jim and get Dr. Keisha and KS an opportunity. Go ahead, Pinpoint, like 30 seconds, real quick response if you could.
No, you can go ahead and pass. I want to just keep listening.
Okay, perfect. Jim, go ahead, Jim. Feel free to respond to whatever you would like. And then, Covey, give me a second, fam. I'm gonna try to work you in too. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Smitty, long time.
Yes, good to have you.
We were following each other, and somehow you weren't on my radar for a while. So I'm glad I found this live today. First of all, your panel's incredible. Second of all, I want to touch on something very important that everybody keeps overlooking. It is in the name of ICE. It is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Let me say that again for all of you not paying attention. It is Immigration and Customs Enforcement, meaning they have no authority over U.S. citizens. Zero. It is immigration only. It is customs only. You're not on a border. You're not doing anything. So when they're sent in, they are supposed to only be sent in to target the people that are in the country illegally, whose documentation does not square up. Secondly, if they are stopping people that are U.S. citizens, if they are preventing traffic, if they are harming U.S. citizens, they are the ones breaking the law. If you are committing a crime in order to enforce law, you are a criminal on criminal. Let me be very clear. If you are breaking the law to enforce the law, you are a criminal. Nothing more, nothing less. They are not police. They have no authority over U.S. citizens, and they cannot, shall not ever be allowed to commit crimes against U.S. citizens, regardless of color, creed, or sex. Full stop. And if you are agreeing with ICE harming U.S. citizens, then you are agreeing with them coming to your door next. That's the first thing. Second of all, if you are talking about immigrants in a way where you think that they're coming to a country and you think that they should not be able to achieve anything, let me tell you about immigrants coming to this country. They come to this country. They are not all broke. They leave their country with what they have, plus their documentation from their mother country, whatever that is. They unify together in communities for the sole purpose of protection, and they come together living in houses with multiple types of family members, cousins, and friends to ensure safety. They combine their efforts and their money. That's how they purchase homes. They work collectively. What the two of you are doing is attacking the Somali immigrants in a way that is so despicable. And you're saying that they don't have the right to come to this country, unify together, protect one another, and support one another to ensure growth. That is what immigration is supposed. No, you cannot interrupt me. You will wait. Because this is the most despicable thing I have ever heard that you will talk against. And if you are working in government, Pinpoint, you are an embarrassment because you do not know a single thing about government law. You don't know anything about policy and procedure, and you should not be speaking on it. The fact that either one of you will come up here and condemn the Somali community and condemn the American citizens that are uniting, using whistles against weapons. Let me say that again, using whistles against weapons to ensure that they are protected. Shame on you. Shame on every single one of you that have never taken a stand to defend your fellow neighbors. It is gross and it is misconduct at the highest degree for a U.S. citizen to think that law enforcement of any kind has a right to take away your civil liberties, to go against humanity, to take away education, to take away women's rights, to tell you not to believe in science and math. So you know what? You do yourself a disservice by doing this. And for I think it was you, Pinpoint, that said you have a daughter. Let me assure you, you are doing an injustice to your daughter because you are literally handing her over to the people that want to do her harm in this country. For those of you talking about money and taking jobs away from you, where is that anger in your voice? Do you know that SpaceX alone has taken $38 billion of our taxpayer money? $38 billion in government subsidies. When you have to have a subsidy, it means you are incapable of doing the business on your own. You are being subsidized. So you are giving billionaires more money, but you want to take food out of children's mouth, out of their health programs, out of their lunch programs. So don't come up here on panels and tell me that you're fighting for the Black community, because you are not. You are literally harming the very community that you are talking about. In addition to that, the people that you want to take their jobs away because they are Latino and they're going to work for less wages, they work for less wages because they make money to feed their families collectively, and then they say, you know what, I'm going to do everything I need to do to build myself up and the community up. They go on street corners and they sell food. They do janitorial services, landscaping, construction, everything that people fail to want to do in this country. So please miss me with your bullshit when you come up here and try to say you're fighting for your community. What you're doing is your indignation is at the wrong people. You should stand up with immigrants. You should stand up for the Somalis. You should get the whistle. You should start knocking on doors. You should be fighting for the voters who have lost their right to vote in this country. By the way, have any of you even bothered to look at the 75 countries that are listed by the Trump administration that by the end of January will no longer be welcome into the United States? I assure you he might as well have just wrote Africa, because every single one of the countries that he flagged are black and brown or Muslim. 75 countries.
Let me come in real quick. Thank you, Jim. Let me go to so first off, yeah, Jim, I don't know what happened. I definitely followed you about 1.2 seconds after you started talking. Let me go Pinpoint. If you want to respond, Pinpoint or Arab, if you would like, again, quick 30 seconds. I want to let Dr. Keisha and KS get an opportunity to speak.
Okay. So a lot of this is selective emotional outrage. It's selective. First of all, I never said anything about Somalis. I said I don't support you coming here the wrong way. That's what I said, emphatically, multiple times. So don't twist my words to make it seem like I said something that I absolutely, emphatically did not say. I said I don't have it. The other thing was there was another gentleman that made the assumption that I have no engagement with my community. I don't belong to any social programs. I don't have to run down a list to you to prove how involved with the Black community I am. Two things can be true at once. You can be conservative minded and democratically politically motivated, or you can do the reverse. It doesn't have to be in a monolithic state. I don't have a problem with people that come here legally, but it spits in their face of the ones that did come here legally, and they have an issue.
Who sounds emotional now, my friend?
Because you are allowed to be emotional.
Hold on, y'all.
You are allowed to be emotional.
Hold on, y'all. Let's let them finish. Go ahead, Pinpoint. Go ahead.
You. Okay. Anyway, yes, I'm emotional. That's part of my nature. I can't hide it. That's part of me being a content creator. That's how it works. Anyway, these are things that you want me to get out and blow a whistle. What is that doing? That's not going to do anything. That's not going to change anything. Because once this smoke clears and he's no longer the president, these same issues, there'll be another issue after another issue, another complaint. We're always talking about, well, what about the 3 people that was locked on an island over in Tahiti that got their money? So look, to be honest with you, I'm focused on what's happening here. Not what's happening over there. I'm aware of what's happening over there. I pay attention to the geopolitics, but we can't solve everything. We got homeless veterans right now here that we can solve their issues, and they're putting second on the back burner. And I rest my case. I stop.
Yeah, real quick. And then for those who are new, who may be new to the platform or new to the panel, again, I will never, ever, right, laugh.
On me. Second of all, let's be very clear when you talk about immigration, when they're going into an immigration court and they're arresting people who are doing it the right way, who are seeking asylum, that's illegal. It's not allowed. They're in immigration court for a reason. They had a court date. I don't know where you guys have lost track of what the laws and the policies and procedures are, but there are 5 stages to undocumented. And you might want to do yourself a favor and learn them before you talk against immigrants and immigration system.
Okay, let me go to whoever said the 43. I'm not even gonna say. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I don't know who you were in the comments. Anyway, Dr. Keisha, welcome to the panel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. I hope y'all all follow Dr. Keisha. If you don't, Dr. Keisha, talk to me. What are your thoughts about what's going on with ICE and Minnesota?
Well, I also wanted to address something that was in the
Oh, of
chat.
course, whatever you would like.
The conversation. Okay, so first of all, I've been on the following the medical side, and this whole situation equates to an abusive and a relationship where someone is cheating on somebody, and we always go back and blame the mistress, the mister, and forget about the accuser. We forget about our boyfriend or husband that actually did the cheating. And I don't know if people forgot about the Atlantic slave trade, but all of us that were dropped off in different places, it's crazy to me that the mastermind that's sitting behind the curtain, that's doing and orchestrating everything, we are completely ignoring him and getting mad at each other. We're getting mad at our brothers and sisters that were dropped off in the West Indies. We're getting mad at our brothers and sisters that were dropped off in different places. And they come over here wanting the same rights that we have. And we are mad at them instead mad at the people that are sitting there. Institutional racism is the people that are sitting behind. Don't think that the bulldog, that these people that come over here, these MAGA or BLAGA, don't think the bulldog are the people pulling the strings. The people pulling the strings are teachers that are teaching our children, but they hate us. They are the doctors that are supposed to be my colleagues that made it difficult for me to get in my position, that confuse you to think that even during the pandemic, you shouldn't get immunized, but these same people went into your neighborhoods and took the immunization from you. They're the same people right now that are sitting over in Guinea-Bissau, and you know what they're doing? Your wonderful Maha person is sitting over there trying to get half of the black babies to not get immunized with Hep B when 20% of their population is unaliving from hepatitis B because they want to try to withdraw them treatment, to do a research that has already been done globally. They're putting your wools on the eyes because you now don't have access to WHO. So you won't know the diseases that are unaliving our people who walk miles to get immunization or walk miles and hours and days to go get healthcare that you guys have available next door down at CVS, down at Walgreens, down at a mom and pop store. So it really is, and I agree with Jim and I agree with everyone that's on this side, that we need to stop blaming the mistress. We need to stop blaming the other person that's being just as hoodwinked as we are. I know exactly that immigrants are getting paid less because I know a woman who is a doctor who was sitting there over the department in educate over here in Baylor. And she got paid, y'all, less than six figures as a doctor who had 3 board certifications, who was running the freaking department, and she was getting less than, for a doctor, like $70,000 as a pathologist, and she spent 6 years post-medical school. She was getting paid less than all of us, and I know that. And I know I was getting 60 cents on the dollar for my white male counterparts, who were most of them mediocre. So we need to get mad at the people that are over there holding the candle to us instead of sitting here blaming each other. What's happening in Minneapolis, what angers me the most, at the end of the day, it does come back to our skin tone, Smitty, because at the end of the day, we are always the last ones to get acknowledged when we're lost. We're always the last ones to have this selective outrage that people have. I'm sad that it took this woman to be unalived, but it's been happening to our people every single day. I have a colleague who is a Black female doctor and lawyer who unalived because they would not listen to her after childbirth when she was trying to get help as a Black woman doctor. So it's not different for me than it is for you. It's not at all. So we need to stop pointing fingers at our immigrant brothers and sisters. 33% of healthcare workers are immigrants. All the people in my podcast are immigrants except for me. And they do more for this society than many people that may be sitting in this audience or in this panel. My husband is an immigrant. He's from Guinea. And I don't have any hate towards him. And they look at us sometimes and we don't realize our worth. And sometimes we displace the anger. I believe there are groups of people that don't work hard enough in my community. I do. But I know there's people like me that work our butts off and still don't get the accolades and rights that we deserve. But it is what it is. But fighting against each other is not going to do it.
Thank you, Dr. Keisha. I appreciate that comment. Thank you. I'm going to go Covey, and then KS, and then Jermaine. I gotta let you go, brother, but I'll let you get a final comment in. So go ahead, Kobe. I know you want to jump in for sure. Want to get you, and then KS will be next, and then Jermaine.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot what I was gonna try to say because I'll go after KS if I remember it. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. My bad. I was trying to get you in. My bad. Let me go to KS. Go ahead, KS. What would you like to share?
Yeah, I kind of forgot too, but I guess I'll start with Chicago. So this whole premise of trying to check people from Chicago that are specifically from the Black American community as how people should feel about immigration. There has been a lot of people in the community that was speaking out because a lot of the people that were being shipped to Chicago, they were putting them in Black areas. And a lot of the people from the city that would go to the meetings and different things at the city councils were complaining about that. That's on video. So for anybody to try to check Black Americans in Chicago about how people we as the people should feel about immigration, when we ain't trying to hear that. We have the right to feel how we want to feel about our city. And they were talking as well about resources and different things like that concerning you're putting resources into people who are just coming here, and where are the resources specifically for the people in the community that are already here. So that has been a conversation amongst the Black American community as far as resources going to people that are not from here, but the people that have been here for hundreds of years, that has been an issue. So that is the conversation. Also, I find it, I don't even say interesting. I don't even say weird that people have the right, because people, how can I say it? Anybody, I'm going to say that's not Black American. I'm going to say that specifically because I don't like to speak and talk for other people's communities. So I'll speak from my own, where I come from in my own. Black Americans who are trying to put their community specifically first, people have an issue with that. And then I see that there are people that are not even racially Black trying to check Black Americans as to what is the best thing for the Black American community. And I also take issue with that. It's not going to check me about nothing. That's first and foremost. Black Americans, and I've had this conversation had got cut off with you, Covey, when I was talking about immigration and the issue of immigration specifically about people that come here that are immigrants that have issues with Black Americans. They get into positions of power and they are for their own. They don't look out for Black American community. When they get into positions of power, they look out for their own people. And then we have another segment of people that come here that are immigrants, but then they're anti-Black. And so it's a multitude of issues. I feel like just because somebody has a difference of opinion in how to liberate specifically the Black American community with other Black Americans. I mean, let's keep it real. Malcolm and Martin didn't agree with liberation. Malcolm said a lot of nasty things against Martin Luther King, but they still had the same goal, and the same goal was freedom for their people. And I find it weird that people feel like people have to have the same mindset as to what to achieve and how to achieve liberation. Black Americans are not going to be a monolith on how to achieve liberation for the community. Mm-hmm. So that's what I will say.
Let me ask you, Cash, just real quick, and then Cubby, I think you remember what you wanted to say, so I'm going to bring you in, then we'll go to Jermaine. So I completely agree with with what you said around not having the same idea in regards to liberation, right? Like that piece of it. I definitely agree with that. What do you feel like that's coming from non-Black Americans to Black Americans? Is that what you're saying? Like, hey, you like
absolutely.
You feel like that's being said to us? Okay.
Absolutely. And I think the issue is because since Black Americans are not immigrants to the country and people are immigrants, of course, they're going to put on for their community and want you to fight for their community because that's their community. And I think that anybody that feels as if, oh, okay, well, I want to look out specifically for the Black American community, they're not being honest about relations between immigrant community and the Black American community. It has not been peaches and cream. I just got called a slave baby by a Jamaican not that long ago on the live. And I said, sir, were you not a part of the transatlantic? Well, I don't know. And it wasn't even no deep conversation. I was just drawing cultural lines between culture because the person was trying to claim culture that wasn't his. And when I drew the line in the sand that, okay, that you can enjoy it, but that's not your culture, then all of a sudden I'm a slave. So again, and then also the relationship between Somali and even them being, I'm sorry, anti-Black. you like us too. If you don't like West Africans, you're not going to like Black Americans as well. So people are not being honest about the issues that people that are racially Black have with one another. And then when Black Americans say, you know what, I'm stepping out of it, y'all handle that, then you try to say something about us when we weren't getting along to begin with as a whole community. Now, do I get along with people individually? Yeah, I have no problem with individuals. But this whole thing of like bringing communities together when you know there's been issues for years and people want to pretend like it's not, I take issue with that. So.
Okay. Thank you, KS. Let me go to Covey. And then, Jermaine, I'm going to have to let you go, brother. But let me go, Covey. I know. Let me get you in. Go ahead, fam.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to say one thing. So before I continue speaking, when you're saying people who are not racially Black, KS, who are you talking about?
No, what I'm saying is I've seen people in certain chats that have come together with, let's say, other Black immigrants trying to check Black Americans about what is beneficial for the Black community here. And I take issue with that because you're proving my point. Why are you hooking up with somebody that's racially Black to try to check me on Black liberation? I take issue with that. We can have a conversation and we don't have to agree with one another, but stop letting other folk jump in. And if I'm having a disagreement, let's say with somebody that is African, I don't let somebody that's Arab jump in the conversation. I don't let somebody that is not racially Black try to, you ain't even in the conversation. And so again, I take issue with that because you're proving the point of why a lot of us want to stay out of it, if that makes sense.
So, okay, this is the issue. This is the main issue that I have, right? The issue in this conversation, first of all, Malcolm X, by the way, it's very interesting that a lot of people don't address the fact that his mother, Louis Little, was from Grenada, right? His mother is not even FBA. When we look at a lot of people like Stokely Carmichael, when we look at Marcus Garvey, when we look at Malcolm X's mom, these are all people who were not FBA, but instead people who were from the Caribbean, people who were from Central America as well. So it's very interesting that even during the civil rights movement, the people who actively, which I'm never going to take away, the plight and the fight of Black Americans, but you also have to understand that a lot of pivotal and significant figures within the pro-Black movement, within the civil rights movement, were also people from the Caribbean, right? People from the outside. Also, by the way, I wanted to show you a photo. Do you know what this is, by the way, Smitty?
Hold on. Let me make you bigger. I can't see it.
Do you know what this is?
No. What is that?
Yeah. These are protests in Somalia for Angela Davis when she got arrested in the 1970s. Did people know this? Did people know that all the way in Somalia, in Mogadishu, right, we're protesting for Angela Davis when she got arrested? So and by the way, right, this is why it's very important not to generalize a whole group of people based on one or two or a couple of people that you see online. Okay, let me not get started into all of the things that Somalia itself had done in the 1950s and 60s and 70s and 80s for Black liberation all across Africa, especially in East Africa and Tanzania, in Eritrea as well, right? Let's not talk about the amount of cattle that Somalia was given for free to people to make them stronger, the amount of weaponry it was given to liberation groups, the types of music that it was releasing to tell people to be proud of being Black and their Black skin. I can show you music from the 1970s about that. I can show you articles about the Somali community coming out in drove in 2020 during the Black rights, during the summer protests after George Floyd's unaliving, right? So this is what I mean by this is orchestrated. This is manufactured. It's manufactured to make people think that everybody is out to get you. And they say that to the African people, everybody's out to get you. They say that to the Black diaspora, everybody's out to get you. And then they literally use each other, right, to continue staying in power, because to be honest, white people would not have been able to stay in power had it only been white people, okay? They only make up 7% of the population, the global population. They're, respectfully, I'm so sorry to my white followers, okay? White people are enemies of the sun. Even they're weaker, like people who cannot even withstand the sun would not even be able to actively uphold a system that oppresses everybody else. Dr. Walter Rodney in how Europe underdeveloped Africa, he specifically mentioned how white Europeans were numerically weak, they were geographically unfamiliar, and the only way that they were able to colonize Africa and enslave Africans was because they had a bunch of sellouts. They had a bunch of Africans, whether it was local chiefs, whether it was merchants, whether it was educated elites, whether it was religious authorities who actively worked together with them. So one thing I wanted to say is, if you guys listen to Black people or any other marginalized person who sounds like they're supporting the status quo, which ultimately oppresses them as well, this is nothing new. Historically, this is how white people and people on top have been able to uphold a system of colonization, because they have had people sellouts, basically. They have always had sellouts. And last thing I wanted to say, before people talk about Somalia, I'm Eritrean. I will always, literally, Somalis and Sudanese will always have a special place in my heart, because for 30 years, when we were being genocided and the whole freaking world turned its back on us, the people who actively helped us were Sudanese people and Somalis as well, right? So for a group of people like Somalis who have actively, historically helped other Black people and aided other Black people in times of need, for those people then to be demonized when they only make up 0.05% of the population, Smitty, I am confused. 0.05% of the US population. And people are literally looking at them as if they're the boogeyman, as if they control everything. What is happening? How could people not? And also, it was Malcolm X, by the way, who said that people have to develop a Black consciousness. Because you mentioned Malcolm X, and I love Malcolm X, okay? He actively said that Black people on a global scale need to develop a Black consciousness. And there is a lack of developing that Black consciousness and misusing these Black thinkers who actively did believe in Black liberation on a global scale.
So real quick, KS, I'm gonna give you a quick opportunity to respond, but there was some flag for misinformation. Chelsea, if you could just explain it, I'll let Cubby address it. KS, quick response, and I want to go to Jermaine.
Right. So I used Malcolm X in the right context. I didn't talk about his ideology. My point was that and let's be clear, he was not full Caribbean. He's half Black American, half Caribbean. His father's Black American, his mother's Caribbean. So let's get that straight. So I used him in the context of Martin Luther King wanting liberation for his people, him wanting liberation for his people, and them having a difference of opinion and how to attain liberation, meaning that people can have the same goal, but not agree on how to get there. Secondly, what I'm not going to do is have you say that, first of all, the majority of the civil rights movement was on Black Americans. Let's not go there about who did what. And no, we were the ones in the South marching. Those were Black Americans that did the boycotts, that did the sit-ins. Those people were Black American. So I'm not going to give credit to anybody else as far as the civil rights movement was concerned, when the majority of the work and the unaliving and the blood, sweat, and tears were done by Black Americans. That's a fact. Secondly, most Black immigrants that are here today only came after the 1965 Civil Rights Immigration Bill that Black Americans had passed, because they didn't want Black immigrants or anybody of color coming into this country if they were not white. We had them. We fought for them to pass the 1965 immigration bill. That's when most of you guys came over here. Before that, it was us, and we were the ones that had the civil rights movement on our shoulders, not immigrants. There were a couple of immigrants that were down. Shout out to them, but let's be very clear. The movers and shakers and the organizers were in the Black Southern Church, and that's Black American territory and Black American organization.
So,
And the last thing that I wanted to say
yep. Okay, go ahead.
is,
And
again, this is the
I
last
saw
thing
the
I
flag,
wanted to
guys. I saw the flag in the chat. Go ahead, Kid.
And the last thing I
Okay.
wanted to say is only about 4.2 to 4.6 Black immigrants here. It's about 48 million Black Americans. The Black community that's always been the main Black community here is the Black American community. And again, nobody that's not that is going to tell me what I should do or what is the benefit for my community here. I don't believe you hold my community's best interest at heart. You hold your best interest at heart because we're not the same community. And people try to make it seem like it's the same. It's not the same. We have different interests and different histories in this country. And again, it's not about not wanting to come together. Those things have to be acknowledged before we do. So.
Okay. All right. So I think there was a piece, KS, where you mentioned the Somali percentage, and I think that got flagged.
Can I address something?
I didn't mention that. I didn't mention nothing about Somali percentage.
No.
Wait, can I address something that KS said?
Okay. So yeah, real quick, fam. Let me just address what the chat flags is misinformation. I remember what it was. It was there was one flag in regards to the people or the vast majority of people from Black countries coming after 1965. I think that was flagged. I don't know one way or the other. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if that's true or
we
not.
passed the immigration. You can look 1965 Civil Rights Immigration Act or Immigration Bill. That's a fact.
Okay. We'll have somebody dig into that. What was it, chat? And then just give me. I think there was one other flag. So just put that in the chat. I'll have KS address it. Covey, real quick. If you could, just real quick, because I want to let Jermaine get in.
Yeah. So this is the issue that I have with people who don't actively listen. I not once dismissed the advocacy and the work and the blood and sweat that African Americans put into the civil rights movement and the Black Power movement. What I said is a lot of times the work of people who are not Black American is purposefully erased. That is what I'm talking about, right? When we look at, for example, how Haiti actively inspired the Haitian Revolution, actively inspired and helped as well Black Americans. Why is that erased from the narrative? Why is it erased that, for example, Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana, he inspired Pan-African socialism that also inspired the civil rights movement, or Patrice Lumumba in Congo, who actively was a symbol of anti-imperial martyrdom, or Frantz Fanon from Martinique, who actively wrote the active verbiage that was used by the Black Power movement and by the civil rights movement to put labels and words to the systems that were oppressing them. What about Amilcar Cabral, right? Who literally created a class of a culture of resistance, right? Or Walter Rodney, who was from Guyana. My point is not to negate African American work and blood and suffering. My point is to say that Black people on a global scale in the 1950s and 60s and all these years recognized not that our experiences was the same, but the systems and the structures that were oppressing us were the same. And our position within these hierarchy was the same. So if they knew that, how do people in 2026 forget that? That is what I am addressing.
Okay, thank you, Kobe.
Let me go to shout out to them though. That wasn't my point neither.
Yeah, real quick, fam. Yeah, let me just let Jermaine, because I'm dropping Jermaine off the panel. So let me let Jermaine get a quick final comment. Go ahead, brother. And please, panelists, if y'all could, because we got 8. Normally I don't go above 6 panelists. So if y'all could just be a little bit more. But I know,
I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't directed to you. That's everybody. Go ahead, Jermaine. Final comment.
Yes, Smitty. Again, man, I appreciate you for having me up here.
Yeah, of course.
I always love your panel. Love you live. Great panelists. I just wanted to say a few things, and that's it for me. Okay, right. So, like our struggle here domestically links with the struggle connected abroad. Like all these struggles are interconnected together. We cannot pick and choose which struggle to go on. We have to fight for both of these struggles abroad because all of this affect us too as well. Like I get it, frustrations, but again, our anger is directed towards the wrong people, and it should be towards the government and these white supremacy and these people in charge. Like colonialism, imperialism, all of it affects us all, and it will continue to affect us until the people, us, rise up against it. From the civil rights movement to the African liberation movement, interconnected together. They are not some separate thing. They all link together. They all organize. They all fought for people and liberation. People may have different ways to go about it. So we have to direct our anger towards these people in charge because they are doing the harm, right? It is not undocumented people. It is not black people. It is these people in charge at the end of the day. As we know, MLK Day is approaching, and it's ironically that was been coming the topic of discussion. And people don't even know about the last couple of years of Dr. MLK's life, where he started to call out imperialism and the militarized machine, right? This is why they unalived him. Really, you know what I'm saying? So we have to link these struggles together. Like he talked about the bomb dropped in Vietnam, also while talking about oppression here in America's backyard. So we have to connect these struggles because these struggles are connected together. Picking and choosing, pointing the blame at the workers here is not going to get us nowhere. So again, Smitty, I appreciate it. Like,
Yeah, absolutely,
I
man.
appreciate you joining my live, and we just got to stick to the liberation movement abroad. Like we can't be blaming people, the workers here, because it's not their fault. It's not their fault America bombed their countries, put sanctions and blockades on their countries. It's not their fault they sent drone strikes to push off people who want to stay away from the U.S. dollar and dominance. It's not the workers' fault that it is not none of their fault. So, Smitty, thank you again, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
brother.
it.
Yeah, as always, man.
Long live
Yeah,
the
good to have you.
liberation movement for all oppressed people, Africans and Black Americans.
No, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you coming up. Let me go to Swan, and then Arab. I'm gonna give you a final comment to make as well. But Swan, go ahead, fam.
Yeah, I don't know if Black Cabin is still in here. I got to give him credit though. What we're hearing from Arab, Pinpoint, and then K at the top is something called last place anxiety. And essentially it's the group, right, who sees another marginalized community kind of maybe approaching, and they feel as though, they're going to take from them, right? And that's something that I think is manufactured by the oppressor. And I think the best way to combat that is to just arm yourself with education. I would ask Pinpoint, Arab, or Kay, do you guys have any statistics on how migrants are negatively impacting your material conditions?
I just gave you an
Anybody?
example. I just gave you an example.
I want statistics. I don't want an anecdotal experience.
So I'll give you a lawsuit. So let's take Houston, for example. So let's talk about immigration from people of a certain demographic on the West Coast. You can go look up a lawsuit right now from a university in Houston that was firing Black American people from the university. And emails got leaked. I don't know how they got leaked, but they did. And the email said that that it's good. I'm glad we can do this. Now we can show preferential hiring treatment and what do you call that when you enrollment to Hispanic students and basically kick out Black Americans. So now there's a Houston college being sued right now for discrimination against Black people by the Hispanic community that's running that university. So you can go look that up.
Wait. So the university's at fault, not the Hispanic people.
No. The people in the university that are from that demographic got emails were leaked talking to one another. Wait 1 second. Let me explain it to you. I'll pull it up for you. I'll pull it up for you if you want me to. I'll pull it up. I have no problem pulling it up. Yeah. So it was leaked.
Is when I'm talking to people on my panel, right? I might say one person unalived, right? We gonna see some real disheveled people, right? What you guys fail to realize is that racism, capitalism, and all of these things, and you would understand that this is manufactured, right? And it serves who? Our oppressor. You are doing the work for our oppressor when you when you're blaming other people coming into the country, right? Happening to Sudan and in the Congo, we participate in that shit. What's happening in Sudan is the worst humanitarian crisis on record. And as an American citizen, I gotta hold myself accountable for that shit. I have to, right? Same thing in the Congo. 10 million people displaced. Their children know nothing but trauma. And I'm not saying, right, that is something that it should trump our experiences. What I'm saying is we are all suffering. As Covey said, it serves us no purpose to come at each other. The minute you, and I understand preservation of Black American culture. I get that, right? But we don't have to put any other group of Black people down in order to preserve our culture. When you start to behave in that way, what you fail to realize is you are doing the work of your oppressor. You are doing the work of your oppressor, right? It's a problem. Also, Hispanic is not a race, Ms. K. Hispanic is not a race. It's not a race. I just like to for me, I think that y'all are running from an emotional place or speaking from an emotional place as opposed to actually understanding what our material conditions are and why they're like this. That's what y'all need to educate yourselves on. Otherwise, y'all three are going to have some real tired ankles, right? And you're going to continue to perpetuate the very thing, right? And to uphold and help uphold the very thing that oppresses us. And that's a problem. Y'all need to get educated.
All right, can I respond real
Yeah, go ahead.
quickly?
30 seconds. Yep. Because I want to
First of
get
all, I'm not going to
Erica's
have
comment.
I'm not going to have tired ankles because, like we said last year, the Black Americans, we in the house. So my ankle's not going to be tired for nothing. Like I said, the majority of our community is not interested in participating in it. If you want to go out there and do it, have fun. Do your thing. But don't tell me I need to get educated just because I have a difference of opinion and how you feel about the immigrant population because you're part of that population. Just said you were Afro-Latino. And what you're not going to do is downplay.
Yeah, I'm not.
When
I
I'm
was
talking,
born in the United States,
now
man.
I'm talking. So
Yeah,
now
but I'm
I'm
going to
talking.
correct you. I'm
So
going
now
to
you're not
correct
going to
you.
correct me
I
about
was
nothing.
born here in
You're
the
not going to
United
correct
States.
me
No, I'm
about
going to
nothing
correct
because
you
I'm
about
still
me.
talking.
Okay.
I
And no,
will
Hold on,
you're
y'all.
correct
Hold on,
not.
y'all.
you about
Let me.
me.
I
So,
don't
so
care.
real
I'm
quick,
still
real quick,
I
real
will
talking.
quick.
correct you about
Yeah,
I'm
me.
yeah.
You're
still
speaking on
talking.
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
still
but I'm
Hold on, y'all.
not.
Hold on,
talking.
y'all.
I'm not a
You
migrant.
talked on me too.
Yes,
Hold
I
on,
did,
y'all.
but
Hold on,
I'm
y'all.
going to correct
Yeah,
you.
I want to
Hold on,
finish.
hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all, everybody. Hold on. Let me let Swan. Let me just let Cass just finish up. I'll let you correct
Yeah,
the
you're
information.
not gonna downplay what's going on in Black communities on the West Coast. If you're not here, then you're not here. But that's been a conversation about what's going on between our communities. I know that Hispanic is not a race, but most of the Hispanics coming over to the West Coast in Houston and Texas are not Afro Latinos. They're mestizo or white Latinos. So I don't need a correction about that. I know what the heck I see every day. Secondly, and what you're not going to do is make it seem like just because you want us to fight and people want to use Black Americans to mule for them because we have had success in the civil rights movement. Now you're going to tell us that we have to fight for everybody else that are not for the best interests of our community. That's what you're not going to do. There was a lot of stuff. I
Okay.
feel like
Let me.
everything is jumbled, but I'm done. I'm a drop. Thank you, Smitty. I'm out of here.
No stats.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right, Cass. Thank you for coming up. Go ahead, Swan. I know you want to make a correction. Go ahead. And then
Yeah,
Eric, I want to get a
I
final
was
comment
born
from
here
you.
in the United States. I actually went and found the plantation that my ancestors worked on in North Carolina, and my family members came over here in the 1700s. They were brought over here. So you're making assumptions. I never said that you had to go out and protest or do any of those things. If you're not built for that, you're not built for that, right? I get it. Not everybody. Everybody has a place, and not everybody's place is being on the front line. I understand that. My point was for you to continue to blame people who do not have control over your situation as if they have control over your situation. You are doing the work of your oppressor. And of course, you're going to run before you can actually give some statistics. So maybe red or pinpoint Y'all have some information that you can give that would substantiate any of the claims that y'all made. Because as of right now, y'all are just running on ignorance and emotion. And I think that is problematic. And I'll just land there for now.
All right, thank you, Swan. Let me go to Arab. Arab, let me get a final comment from you. Anything else you want to say, Arab?
Yeah, I just don't do the name calling thing or the calling someone ignorant and those things right there. I'm just not really into that. You know what I mean? Because we all are ignorant to certain topics or certain situations. We not like we know everything. We're not downloaded like a computer or something, but we chat GPT. But what I want to get back to the topic is what they say. You know, the thing was about Minneapolis and what was going on in Minneapolis. You know, and I think we went all the way off into arguing about whose race is better or who's more, or you know, it just went way too far to me. You know, my thing was the Minneapolis situation and what was going on in Minneapolis.
Well, I mean, but Arab, right, in Minneapolis, there was a 6-month-old black baby that almost got unalived. And so I think the point that some of the content creators are coming up here and saying is that, hey, this is a black issue as well. We can't ignore this issue. And so and there was some that disagree with that, right? And so I think that to me is where the relevance of that piece of the discussion came in. But go ahead.
Yeah, but what I'm saying in these situations where things happen when you got those type of protests going on, we watched it through the George Floyd. You know, I mean, it was a lot of people got injured in them situations. It just wasn't never covered. You know, the news never covered it. It was swept up under the rug. But it was a lot going on in the underworld doing those riots and those things. But back to Minneapolis, where you have the immigrants, the undocumented immigrants here, as far as the Somalians and whoever. My thing is allow them to do they. Who are we to get in the way of what they're doing? No one got in the way of when they were mistreating us. So that's why I say, as a black community, we just fall back from that situation. We let them carry out, because nobody fights for us. That one lady, she said they was fighting for us in Somalia over the arrest of
Angela Davis. Yeah,
Angela Davis. That, you know, if that's the case, when you get here, show us love. Don't act like we you know, like I don't get that. They say so distance from us. They don't greet us with brotherhood, sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? They distance from us, like as if they don't want to talk to us or interact with us until somebody give them the history of black people here in America and what we did and what our struggles are. You know, when they get here, they don't look at us as like black people or brown people that's similar to them or any of that. They treat us, you know, I see them more, you know.
So real quick, you know, and then I mean, I feel like Jim actually kind of made the point, right? Around, I think, what all immigrant communities do when they come to America, and the pooling of resources. And then you've got the language issue for many as well. Like, I think, and Covey says it better than me, right? There is anti-blackness in every community. I don't think anybody's going to debate that. But I think there are many other factors as to why immigrant communities stay within their communities. It's not just, you know, a distaste of black people, right? But and so I feel like, you know, all of those factors need to be
what I'm saying is we don't get that
account.
We don't get that embrace as if we are of the same source, of the same race or genders. We don't get that embrace. We get like as if they don't like us or something, or we don't get that.
Okay, let me real quick. Naquan came up and wanted to address something that you said, Arab. So I want to keep you on a little bit longer.
Smitty,
and then Jim, give me a second.
I have to drop, so I just want to say one thing, because I think it's really important.
Okay, Naquan, you cool with that, bro?
Yeah.
Let me just check. Let me just make.
Okay.
Yeah.
You cool? Okay, go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's my mom's celebration of life today, so I've really got to go.
Oh, you got to go. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I
Go
just
ahead.
want to have everybody in your comment section and on your panel, please go read the poem by Martin Nilmeyer called First They Came, because you can replace all of the words that they use with immigrant or BIPOC or LGBTQIA for the communities that they acknowledged in 1930s Germany. And after I say that, I want to say this. What is going to happen in this country if all the people of color, the immigrants that are here, that came here legally, that use the system appropriately, that are being harmed by this administration, replace all of those immigrants with people from South Africa or white countries? Who do you think is going to come to the defense of any other American citizen at that point that loses their rights? That's how you have to look at the totality of this. If you are so inclined to harm your immigrant brothers and sisters, then you are losing your way in your thinking process. Because I will remind you again, you don't have to believe me. You can Google this yourself. They identify people as gangs in this country who were immigrants. And immigrant communities came together to unify, and then they were labeled as gangs. And that is what happened in this country. And if you continue to attack your immigrant brothers and sisters, especially those who come from foreign lands and not comprehend why they are not speaking to you.
I'm sorry, we're not attacking
I'm not
them.
speaking to you. I'm not speaking to you.
We're
I'm just
not
speaking
attacking
in
them.
general.
You're speaking
Eric,
on
you
something.
are.
Hold on, brother. Let me let her
For
finish.
over an
Let her
hour.
finish.
So I just want to be very clear. You have to start looking at the totality, because who is running this administration, they literally have the Stephen Millers, the Jason Millers, the Elon Musks, and all of them are totally white supremacists. Steve Bannon included, Trump himself. So please do yourself a favor and learn to follow history, because if you don't follow it, if you don't learn from it, you're doomed to repeat it or to supply it with the energy it needs to continue to burn the fire. And that's all I'm going to say. I love you, Dr. Keisha. Everybody, if you're not following the Medical Collective, please follow Dr. Keisha and Dr. Sharon. They support the community with science and facts. Smitty, I love you. I'm glad we've reconnected.
Yes, absolutely.
We need to all be in this fight together. We need to we need to unite to fight the alt-right. And that's all I got to say. Peace out, everybody. God bless.
All right, Jim. You take care. Be safe out there. All right, we're gonna let Jim go. Let me let Naquan come in, and then I want to get Sean's. I want to get her opening comment. Naquan, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, originally I came in because the first thing he said earlier about why are we getting out there and helping them? That was a crazy ass question. First and foremost, ICE is out there telling people, did you not learn from what happened last week? They're attacking black kids. They're attacking brown kids that are just at supermarkets and shit like that. But I want to ask you a question, because I really wanted to ask this lady that was up here before. Who's Marcus Garvey?
He was from Jamaica, right?
He was the leader.
Who is he?
He was the leader of the Black Liberation Movement.
Who's not you? Who's Marcus Garvey, and what did he do?
Oh, you said not me. Okay.
Who are you speaking to?
You at the bottom, Arab or whatever your name is. I can't see your full name.
It's Arab Reed or
Arab Reed. All right.
Arab Reed.
Who's Marcus Garvey, and what did he do?
I don't know too much of it, but I heard he set some type of economy up for black people when he got here.
Yeah, in 1920, Marcus Garvey. This was before civil rights, right? I mean, I can name more people that y'all like to call not black American that literally was on the front line. I don't know where y'all get this whitewash ass history that black people don't get along with the Caribbean island people. I live in New York. We have one of the biggest Caribbean populations. We have Flatbush that has a bunch of Caribbean people, and I'm always there, and they treat me like I'm fucking family. I don't know where y'all get this whitewash ass history that we never got along with Caribbean people. Just say you don't get along with Caribbean people.
Who spoke on Caribbean people? What are you talking about?
Y'all FBA people, y'all fundamental embarrassment black motherfuckers. Y'all are
See,
erasing.
that's what I don't do. I don't do the name calling, bro. Like,
So he can do
Y'all,
that.
y'all are
That's cool. He can do that.
erasing. Y'all are erasing the stuff that Caribbean people actually contribute towards the
but
black
who
movement.
talking
Y'all
about
literally
Caribbean people,
erasing
bro?
them.
Where it come from? What we talking about something? Where you at? What world you in?
You talking about Somalian people? Y'all was talking about Caribbean people, and I am a descendant of slavery. My family, I can trace it back to the plantation that they was beat on. Y'all was talking about Somalians. Y'all was talking about, oh, the Caribbeans don't come here and treat us like we're families. They need.
No one ever
They
said the
have.
Caribbean.
You literally was just saying that they don't treat us. Migrants don't treat us like we're family.
No, I was speaking on Somalians. The topic of the topic of the discussion. I don't even know how you got all the way to
For
the
the love
Caribbean.
It
of
was Miss
God,
K
for the
that
love
came
of
in.
God, Somali. I don't know how many times I have to say this. For the love of God, please, I beg you guys. Somali, not Somalian. Nobody goes around saying you're Americanian. Please. Sorry,
So
Smitty. I'm just
real quick to what Eric was saying. Did anyone mention folks from the Caribbean?
It was K's. It was K. So we started talking about. They
Okay.
started talking about people who are
Okay.
Somali, and then K kind of
Okay.
like
So
brought it there.
KS is not on the panel, so let's move on kind of from that point. She's not here to defend what she said, so let's kind of move on from that point then.
Okay, but
Go ahead.
why wouldn't we assign ourselves or align ourselves with the Somali community out there? What is the issue between us and them?
No,
Besides what
what I
white
was
people are telling us.
no, what I'm telling you is that they don't embrace us like we brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? When they get here, they act a little distant from us. And you should know this if you've been around any of them. They don't speak to
I
you.
have.
They don't
Yeah,
greet you. They don't say hi. I don't see that
I
unless
live
you
in
know
New
them
York.
personally. There's no. I'm being honest, man. If you live in Minnesota, man, you'll see all these Somalians. They don't greet you hi and
Somali!
Somali,
Somali!
please.
I'm so
Please,
sorry,
Somali.
Somali.
Smitty. This
No,
is
no, no,
so
I'm sorry, Somali.
disrespectful. No, this
I'm
is
sorry.
so disrespectful, bro.
I'm
Like, get it right. Stop
So
calling
real
it's
them
quick,
by
not.
a
real
name
quick,
that they don't
because
call
we kind of bring it up.
themselves.
Let me let Sean and I know Dr. Keisha's got to leave, so I want to get another comment from Sean and I want to get another comment from Dr. Keisha. So I'm moving around the order a little bit. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead, fam.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, of course, of course.
I want to start off with a few things. What I'm going to start at is here. We are talking about the diaspora, and I wanted to point out the reason why we ended up talking about the Black diaspora is because people who said that they support ICE were saying that they support ICE because immigration and immigrants dislike Black Americans. Am I wrong about that?
No. That's wrong. That's very wrong.
Not wrong. All right.
You're
Yes, it
right.
is.
So
That's not what I said. That's not what
wait.
I said.
It
Okay.
was
What'd you
Come
And
say?
on,
that's
yeah.
not what I said.
All right.
no.
All right. What'd you say?
It was that was what y'all said, and then you also
No.
said they're taking
So
resources from us too.
so real quick. Let's maybe clarify. You know, I feel like Arab, you did say that about the Somali community. Are you saying that's just the Somali community? You feel like that about? Just like let's just clear it up.
No, what any immigrant that comes over here, they come in our neighborhoods and they don't embrace us like we're like.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Asking a brief
Okay.
question,
I'm
So
Smitty.
you're
saying
talking about.
Asians. I'm saying
Hold on,
Asians.
y'all.
I'm
Hold on,
saying
y'all. So okay. So you're talking about all immigrant
all
communities, not
immigrants.
just the Somali. Okay. Go ahead,
Asking
Sean.
a very brief question.
Well, it's just gonna keep
No,
going though. Let me
No, it's a
hold on to it.
especially the
very,
Somalians,
very
because
brief. It's a one teeny tiny question. I swear, and I'm gonna let Sean continue. Is that
Go
okay
ahead.
with you, Sean? Arab, didn't you say you had Somali friends in the beginning? Are you saying that your Somali friends don't embrace you?
no, they told me the story of why they parents don't really talk to us.
So
No,
then they
no,
do
no.
embrace you, even though they
No,
are
you
Somali.
asked me a question. You asked me a question, right? I'm gonna tell you the younger ones that's actually going to the schools with they in our communities, they actually interacting with them with Black Americans and they learning from Black Americans of what like what America was really about and how we've been oppressed all these times. So yes, the younger Somalians is starting to catch on, but the older ones,
Somali.
Somali, the younger Somali is catching on, but the older one, they don't understand us, and they don't care to even understand us.
So then there are Somalis who embrace you. Let's not say that Somalis don't embrace you because you literally said you have
No,
Somali friends.
but that's what I'm saying. When they first get here, they don't embrace us until they interact with us, until they force to interact with us. Going to these schools and in these communities, in these black communities, they force to interact with us, and then they learn us, and then somehow they acting just like us.
Okay, let me let Sean come back in, and then we'll go to Dr. Keisha. And then Pinpoint, I got you 3, okay? And then Jax, I'll try to get you 4.
They rapping and everything. They doing everything just like us now.
Okay, let me go ahead. Let's let Sean get her full time. Go ahead, Sean.
I'm gonna say this just as a little digression. Arab is nuts, but the the reason why we ended up starting to talk about immigrants in general, the diaspora in general, is because we were talking about the immigrants that were coming from the diaspora, taking resources and disliking Black Americans. That is the correct thing. So saying that we don't know how we got here is a weird statement to make. But I do want to ask, if it's okay, I do want to ask Covey a question. Covey, can I ask you something? What's an Americo-Liberian?
Oh Lord. Yeah. Are you talking about the whole the whole process of the creation of Liberia? Oh yeah, when a bunch of Black Americans, freed slaves, were sent under the American Colonization Society, I think, to go and quote unquote create Liberia and displace the natives and all that stuff. Yeah.
Did Americans who went to Liberia actually displace indigenous Liberians?
I'm pretty sure it caused a lot of destruction. It didn't go well at all.
For a long period of time, did Americo-Liberians have more rights than indigenous Liberians? Today, do Americo-Liberians have more privileges than indigenous Liberians?
Yes, they do.
Okay. So what we're talking about here is Black Americans going to another place, taking that place, and then utilizing a white supremacist system in order to have privileges over the native people in that land?
Yes.
Okay. Swan, can I ask you something real quick?
Of course.
Hey, Swan, what's a Buffalo Soldier?
Buffalo Soldier, were they? They were with
Black American soldiers who were working on the side of the white Americans to fight indigenous people.
Enslaved, or am I thinking of a different group of
The ones
people?
who fought indigenous people, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they
they
expanded
served
west.
on
They were a huge faction of Black American army men who helped the United States expand westward.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm asking this question is because when we're talking about like resources being taken away from people, especially Black Americans from like the diaspora for immigrating to the United States, which there is literally no evidence of, by the way. I just want to go ahead and digress a little bit on that and say there is zero evidence of immigrants taking resources away from Black Americans. Black Americans, I'm a Black American. As y'all know, my family comes from, I say this all the time, my family comes from 2 areas, farm in Virginia, farm in Pennsylvania. I'm 100% Black American, mother and father side. When it comes to Black Americans and the things that we've done, not even just in the United States by expanding westward and taking land away from indigenous people and allowing for the indigenous G-side to happen due to neocolonialism, we've also done it in the motherland, in Liberia. We've gone to Liberia because Americo-Liberians have more privileges today still than indigenous Liberians. We had more rights than indigenous Liberians. We implemented laws that made it illegal for them to do things like read, bro. Like this isn't something that's like brand new when it comes to neocolonialism. So talking about like other people are doing these things to Americans, and Americans are just like these, like Black Americans we're just these victims who have never fallen like victims into these systems is weird to me. And this is the reason I brought this whole thing up, is because I wanted to talk about the mindset of liberation. There's only, I get that people are saying like, oh, we're not a monolith or whatever, but we do need to be. Like anything other than, I'm going to say this, anything other than a socialist agenda and moving towards socialism and Pan-Africanism is not going to liberate Black people anywhere. And the diaspora wars just continues that capitalistic framework and mindset of needing to take resources away from other Black people and allowing for whoever it may be within the diaspora, Black Americans, people who are indigenous to African lands. I don't mean to homogenize African people, but I'm just trying to speed roll what I'm saying here. People who are indigenous to African lands to do things like neocolonialism. I like to call it, I'm going to say this for educational purposes, because this is what I actually call it, nigga imperialism. Because when we go somewhere and we do something like take rights away from people and pretend as if other people coming to the United States are the big problem in taking rights away from Black Americans, when we don't look at the actual issues of capitalism, imperialism, neocolonialism, colonialism in itself, and we look at the immigrants in the diaspora and we say those people over there are the problem, we're just falling for white supremacist rhetoric. There is no evidence, I'm just repeat this one more time, no evidence of immigrants of the diaspora or anywhere else taking resources away from Black Americans.
Yes, I listen, you're never going to get me to ever have more smoke for undocumented immigrants. I have no smoke for them, as opposed to the people that passed that damn law in Georgia that said we couldn't give Black women water when they were trying to vote in Atlanta. There is no way. There was no undocumented immigrant that voted for that, right? There was no undocumented immigrant that created the system today where Black women are 3 times more likely to be unalived in childbirth. You are never going to have me have any smoke for undocumented immigrants when we have that. That's all I'm going to say. Dr. Keisha, your final comment, anything else you want to say? Oh, we can't hear you, fam.
I said, I'm glad you brought that up, because if we had laws in place that were not meant to make us not succeed, we wouldn't have this problem. If we truly had equity, we would not be fighting our brothers and sisters for the same cookie. We all would have access to the same funds, to the same jobs, to the same pay. But it was by design to be this way. So I'm so glad that he mentioned that. I also think when we have these conversations with some of the people up here, because I've noticed too, one person, she had so much anger and pain in her. And trust me, I felt more, not her words, but I felt what she was doing. She was stuck in a place where you could not reason with her because she's in so much pain from what our people went through and wanting to get our success and our access to things, not other people. But we have to acknowledge the pain first before we can move forward. I had a guy, he's a relationship doctor, and he told me with my husband, I've been married for 23 years, y'all. My husband always is like, why you didn't close the refrigerator right or this? So I said, so what you're trying to say is you want me to close the refrigerator. He paused and looked at me and he was like, what the freak? Like he thought it was funny. He's like, she listened to me actually. The guy who kept saying people don't acknowledge us when they come over here, that's all he wanted first. A lot of it can be if you acknowledge what people are saying, even if you're like, God dang, let me do this. Just acknowledge what the freak their struggle is. They might be more willing to then listen to you. Just that. It's crazy. It's that simple part is to acknowledge their pain, acknowledge where they are, accept their viewpoint. And then I noticed to meet them where they're at. Some of them, if you meet them where they're at, some of them can't come with us, y'all. They just can't. They're at a point in their life or their pain where they're just not going to be able to move forward until they do it for themselves. I have a son right now. He's an adult. I have to meet him where he's at. No matter what I say to him, he's not at the place to accept it. Back to that equality thing. The people keep saying this is my mood point, right? My thing, or with healthcare, my thing is that I go to the doctor and they don't listen to me, right? that can be no different than someone else's list. So the list of importance should be more of a list of equality. That everything on that list, because Kobe's list is going to be different than mine, than the lady above, is that we should stop trying to put our thing at the top of the list. The list should be straight across, all of the same. And yes, some of us can focus on someone else's list than others. So if I'm at a point where I'm just about black,
real quick, Dr. Keisha, just real quick. Sean above you is a she. I just want to make sure we get that piece of it. Not she. It's a she. She's a she.
Oh, no, not the person above me. The person that was speaking a while ago that was way above me at the top. That's a she, right?
You're talking about K's. I think you're talking about K's. That was
but Sean is also what goes by she, her, by the way. Sorry, I just want to say that.
Okay, yeah, but no, I said the person that was last speaking, that was the one right above me, right? That's who I wasn't talking about. That was in the place. Yeah, I was talking about the lady, the she that was speaking earlier, the one that left.
Okay, got it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, the black. Yeah. Well, Missy, the reason why who cares is that's the problem. We don't care until we realize, I will tell you from a healthcare standpoint, the things that come from the sky are weapons of warfare, but even what more is biological warfare. And our disinformation or lack of believing in science is going to unalive us. And go look at the diseases that are unaliving people in Sudan and other places is going to unalive us simply because we don't believe or we don't care about our brothers and sisters. I'm gonna be honest. So meet people where they're at. If they're not in a place, you got to move on, because as Kobe and many people mentioned, there are many groups of people that do care about others, and we got to stop focusing on those naysayers, on those few. I stopped during the pandemic listening to people that were straightly anti-immunization. There's no point. They are where they're at, but it's the people in the middle that want to do better, but just don't quite understand or are caught in it. Those are the ones you need to focus on. And that's it.
All right, Dr. Keisha, thank you so much for coming up. I really appreciate it.
And Dr. Keisha, before she drops, Dr. Keisha, can you please drop your skincare routine for everybody else here? Because you said married 23 years and
Girl,
you don't look a day over 25.
Y'all. I'm 49. I'm telling you, you know what it is? The skincare routine is stay away from drama.
Don't host TikTok Live, Dr. Keisha, on political topics. All right. Thank you, fam. Appreciate you coming up. I'll drop you. Lord knows. Oh, this is great. Some of y'all done put this on me. But anyway, all right. Let me.
Smitty, I ain't gonna hold you. I got about 6 grades since 2024. Got about 6 grades, brother.
I hear you, fam. Only reason I haven't messed with it is y'all told me the silver and black looks good, so I'm gonna keep it for now. Let me go to. I think I promised Jack's time next. And then we're gonna be winding down pretty soon. But Jax, go ahead, fam. I want to get your opening comment, and then I think Pinpoint hasn't been able to speak for a while, and then we'll probably end it with either Swan or Covey or both.
Hey panel, hey Smitty. I've been listening for a while, and just to preface, I'm West African immigrant. I'm from Cameroon, and I went to an HBCU. So I'm not going to sit up here and say that there's not diaspora wars. I'm not going to sit up here and say there's not harmful rhetoric from all sides of the black coin. But we need to understand that these talking points were not manufactured within our community. They were fed to us. And the Black Americans in the FBA movement, when you turn your frustration towards Black immigrants, you miss something important. The focus now shifts away from power, and now what you're doing is you're fighting who's in your proximity. Because your assumption underneath all of this is that the work Black Americans have done inside the United States secures some real standing in the social structure. And history just shows otherwise, that yes, Black labor built the country, it stabilized its economy, it shaped its culture, yet they don't give you guys ownership. You don't have ownership, there's no installation, and there's no authority of what the work that you've been putting in. Now, but what was produced was conditional access. Now you feel close, you feel enough to feel secure. I'm not talking to those who are so far gone in the FBA movement. I'm talking to those in the middle who you have frustration, you have these anecdotal experiences with immigrants in the Black diaspora, and now you see these FBA talking, right-wing talking points in on your feed, in your life, and you're feeling tempted to align with it. And I'm telling you that closeness is misleading. What it does is it invites you to identify with the system rather than those who are harmed by it. Now you start defending the borders, questioning people who belong, and you're doing a whole bunch of, you're doing the labor for the colonizers while you're still sitting outside of the decisions in the social hierarchy. You're not in it. And now what you're doing is you're just repeating the labor that you had to do that built this country. And you can see how this plays out in real time. If you look at Tucker Carlson and the far right and how they've been peddling FBA talking points. They've been saying things like, wow, if I was a Black American, I wouldn't be okay with all these people from Ghana and those people from Cameroon and Nigeria coming in and taking your place when you belong here, while simultaneously voting against ownership for you in the White House or in the legislative branch. They take away ownership from you. They take away your autonomy, but then only give you closeness in the social hierarchy when it's time for you to do their work for hating immigrants for them. That's what you guys are not understanding. They're instigating us to hate each other. And like many people on the panel said, and I'm not going to say it over because they said it perfectly and beautifully. Go and look at the stats. Go and look at all of the people in the Black diaspora who have added into the culture, into music. The original founders of the civil rights movement, yes, in the civil rights bill, added immigration statutes for Black immigrants. Why? You see, that lady came up here, and I'm not going to address her because she's not here to respond, but I'm going to address that talking point generally. She came up here and said, yeah, we even gave you guys immigration rights in that bill, and not the ones that you guys are benefiting from. Why do you think the originators of the civil rights movement made sure that Black immigrants had immigration rights in America? It's because they themselves knew that it was a global issue. This is an issue of colonialism, and what they're going to have you do is sit up here and hate Black immigrants and to do the work for them. And now they can use the fact that you hate them as an excuse to keep them out while they go into their countries, steal their resources, hurt their people. So now they get to win on both sides of the aisle. You are doing their work for them instead of you to understand, why am I given scraps in the first place? Why did I have to build this country in the first place?
All right. Thank you, Jax. Appreciate you. Let me go to Pinpoint, and then we'll go to Swan, and we'll close it out. I mean, I tell you, this is not necessarily the way I thought the live was going to go today, but I'm really happy it did. Because I think there's just a lot of good content being talked about today. So
Can I say one quick thing, Smitty? Because it just clicked in my head. He said they also rapping like us. Do he not know who DJ Kool is? DJ Kool is one of the original founders of hip hop, born and moved into New York. He literally is one of the founders, and he's Jamaican. So please don't ever say that they're stealing our music. He's literally one of the founders of hip hop. The Bronx, New York. DJ Kool.
Thank you for that, man. I didn't even know that. Let me go to Pinpoint, and then Swan, and we're gonna close it out, y'all. Let's close it out strong. Tap the screen. If it's a panelist you want to follow, make sure you follow them here on the panel. A lot of good content in this live today, for sure. Pinpoint, your final thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to say this in closing. Black people have voted for Democrats for well over half a century, and we've got nothing from them. I know that probably sends people into a whirlwind. The other part of it is I'm not FBA, but I care about what happens to Black people first. I'm just going to be honest. I care what happens today, right now. I understand there's other things that happened in the civil rights from before that got us to where we are. The reason why I didn't want to get into statistics is the one thing I learned about statistics, you can almost find any statistic of your own personal preference to assuage your confirmation bias. I've learned that years ago. The final thing I want to say is that a lot of this is conflation without distinction. I do not have a problem if you came here the legal way. I have an issue if you came here the other way, because you said I can't say that word. If you came here the other way, that's where my issue resides. I do not have a problem with Somali, did I say that right?
Somalis, yep, or Somali or
Okay.
Somalis, yep.
Okay, I do not have a problem with Somali people. If you came here legally, fine. Let's dance. Let's do the electric slide. Let's eat some soul food. Because I'm still going to the cookout. Because don't be fooled. Just because I'm Republican, I'm a Negro, but I'm not your Negro. And if it's not vote red until I'm dead. Because if they get out of line, I'll bounce too. But sure, there's extremists on both sides. I recognize there's racists on the right. But the issue I have is you're picking not I'm not saying distinctly who, but you're picking and choosing collectively and saying, well, when it's the right, all of you are racist. But then when it comes to the left, then it's like, no, secular people feel this way. No, why is it that when I say something, because that question never got answered, why is it that when I say something, it is media propaganda that I'm soaking in? But then when someone else says something, why can't I make the argument and say that's leftist propaganda you're soaking in?
Can I Smitty, go
Yo,
ahead.
real quick. Let me do this. Sean, I want to give Sean an opportunity. I think Sean wanted to ask a quick question. Jax, I'll come back up to you. I don't want to let Swan close it out. But to the kind of structure of the platform, right? Pinpoint. If somebody wants to just pinpoint question, either Sean or Jax.
Well, Jackson address it first. I have a question, and I'll also address his question as well.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead, Jax.
Somali people are Black. Black immigrants are Black. Black is a race. We are all Black. What you are meaning to say is that you only care about the Black people who are American. You care about Americans. And what you're not understanding is that is a colonialism. That is a colonial talking point. That is a colonial talking point. What you have bought into is American exceptionalism. I'm not going to lie to you. You've bought into American exceptionalism. There is a reckoning that us, even me, who is not a Black American, but who is an African American that resides in the West, there's a reckoning that I have to do with my own proximity to Western comfort that I have to reconcile with in relation to my brothers and sisters in the Black diaspora across the world. And when you divorce yourself from the fact that Black is an identity that spans a diaspora, and you buy into this American exceptionalism talking point, when they don't even give you the benefits that they gain from even having that belief in the first place, you are doing their labor for them. You're doing their labor for them, and you're not even addressing why these people have to even come into this country in the first place. You're not even addressing that. Are you gonna say that they come in here illegally? But are you also gonna talk about how we go in and we fund rebel groups against the current powers in order for us to get access to their resources? Are you going to go in and talk about all of the military interventions? Are you going to go in and also talk about all of that also happens to Black people?
So real quick, let me, and just for the standpoint of potential misinformation, and hopefully somebody on the panel can answer this question. From everything I've heard, and I think Covey said it too, or said it earlier. From everything I've heard, right, the vast majority of Somalis in America are either citizens or here on temporary protected status, right?
95% of Somali people are citizens. 95% of them are citizens.
Right. So when we're talking about the percentage of undocumented immigrants in Somalia, I would imagine it'd be very low.
I'm not speaking to them directly. I'm speaking overall.
Okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead, fam. You want to ask a pinpointed question?
So to first address the question that was asked, I'll answer it directly. The reason why when you say something, it is media propaganda is because you say things like you don't like talking about statistics, which means you don't have any empirical information.
That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you said.
No, I said we can get into statistics, but the reason why I choose not to is because people can find any statistical chart or anything of that nature to feed their confirmation bias.
That's not true.
That's why you serious right now? You're
Yes, dead
serious.
serious right
You
now.
you you're
You don't
saying
have any
people can't.
empirical information. You don't have any
What
empirics. Like
you're saying people
let's stop joking
just
with
like
me.
if I
You
was to
said you don't
say
like talking about.
just like if I was to
I
say
don't
the
know
front
why the
row.
crash out is happening. It's just I'm
I'm
addressing
not
what you
crashing
said.
out. I'm not crashing out. I'm not. I'm
You
trying to be
are.
respectful. I'm trying to be respectful.
You're
I'm not
crashing
crashing.
out because you
It's
literally
just
just
because I
said you
got
don't
loud.
like
I
stop.
just
You
got loud,
literally
but that's not a crash out.
that is a crash out. You literally said that you don't like talking about statistics.
That's not what I said.
Yes, you did. And you said it's because you can find any statistic that backs anything, and that's
I
not
said the
true. You're
reason
lying.
I
That's a
don't
lie.
get in. I said the reason I don't get into
Okay,
statistics.
either way, you're lying. It's not true. You're full of it.
That's your
So
own confirmation bias,
the
and I
only
can say the same
it's
thing
my own
about you. You're
my own
full of it.
confirmation bias,
I can
but you
say the
can't
same
give
thing
us
that you're full of it.
you can't give us any data that shows that immigrants are taking resources away from the black community. You were asked this multiple times and you couldn't give it. And you said you don't want to talk about that
No,
because you
I
don't
was
want to talk
listening.
about
I was
statistics.
listening patiently.
What was said to you is that what you're saying is media propaganda
For
because you
example,
don't like talking about empirics. If you
for
don't want to talk
example,
about empirics, then people are going to call what you say
so
propaganda because you're
that's fine.
just
That's
making
fine.
it up.
That's fine because
So
I'm
so
not. I'm
that
not
that
here to
Hold on,
say.
addresses
But
your
let's let
question.
Sean finish real quick.
Sean, can I ask you a question real quick, Sean?
Hold on, real quick. Let's make sure Sean was finished. Were you finished, fam?
I wasn't, but he can ask the question real quick.
Okay.
Wait, so Sean, from what I'm understanding, he don't like data, but anecdotal evidence can't be debunked. So statistics can be debunked with somebody else's statistic, but anecdotal
hey,
evidence can't be debunked. Is what you're saying? Is that what
you
he's saying,
talk.
Sean?
Actually, it does kind of sound like he's saying something like that because he wants us to take his anecdotal experience as
No,
factual information, but he doesn't like statistics because
that's not
statistics
what I
are for
said.
him.
Stop saying what I didn't say.
What you
Okay,
said?
That's not what I
Let's
said.
let's I just want to make sure, Sean, you were finished, fam. I want to let you get your
No,
full
I will wrap it up. I will wrap it up.
okay,
But
go ahead.
yeah, that's why people say what you say is just media propaganda because you don't like talking about empirics or any facts. You just like
Okay.
going based upon your feelings. That's
Okay.
why. But the question that I have for you, you said something really interesting to me a little bit earlier. You said you don't mind them coming here legally. You just hate it when they come here illegally. What does
Yes.
coming here illegally mean? What does that mean?
I was told I couldn't say that word.
What does it mean though? You just said it. Not even 2 minutes ago.
By way of section under the Federal Criminal Code, by way of U.S. 8, Section 13, 25, and 26. If you are come here under unauthorized measures, you are considered to be entering the country by illegal measures. So, what that means
Not
is
true.
if you were not, what? Okay,
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
not true.
Okay,
1325 talks about where a
okay.
person what does 1325 actually say?
Verbatim?
What just give me what you
I just
understand
said
from
it.
it.
I just said it's basically if you come to this country by unauthorized measures, before you cut me off, unauthorized measures means if you didn't come here by way of the okay of asylum or things of that nature, you are considered to be, for example, if you cross that border, because right now as we speak, Mexico is doing their own form of deportations the same way we are, because even they understand this is problematic if you let it get out of control. So what they're saying is no different than us. You came across this border and the country didn't say it was okay for you to be here. That's what
No.
illegal is.
Okay,
No.
so
You're wrong.
go
So
ahead, and then
13
I just want to interject and get the other folks in real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, what 8 USC 1325 says is that if you enter the United States at a specific point that you are told not to enter through, and it's only talking about like private property or public property like parks after dark. If you are told not to enter that way, you can be fined for entering that way. It's just about trespassing. So this is, and it's written down. We can just go read it. It's written down. It's super easy. It's in black and white. So the entire thought process that you have about this is 100% incorrect. And the reason
No,
why
you're wrong.
is because you don't like empirics. You want us to
No,
read it? We
you're
can
wrong.
read 8 USC 1325.
I mean, look,
Okay,
at the end of
real
the
quick, y'all, because this is so. Let me just because I gotta go. I do. Let me get Solid's comment, and then I want to get Karuba. Hopefully, I'm saying your name right, brother. And then I want to let Swan get the final comment. I mean, man, y'all be knowing immigration law statutes and don't know Marcus Garvey. Come on, man.
I said who Marcus
Am I
Garvey
right?
was.
Hit me up.
Nuts, actually.
I said who Marcus Garvey was. I was told to be
Wait a
quiet.
minute. Am I hearing this right? Anyway,
I said who he was. I was told to be quiet.
real quick. Let me go. Let me go. Solid. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Oh, we can't hear you, brother. You're on mute.
Sorry. If the United States government had used a propaganda technique to vilify people who were using government programs before, right, and then recycled that same technique this time, the people who fell for it the first time fell victim to propaganda. Yes?
Is that a legitimate question, or you're just speaking rhetorically?
Are you
speaking
a legitimate
rhetorically?
question?
Okay, I'm not trying to be funny, but it sounded like the choppy airplane. Can you say that one more time?
One more time. Okay. If the United States had weaponized propaganda to vilify people utilizing government assistance the first time, right, and people fell for it, did they fall for that propaganda is what I'm asking.
I mean, that's a subjective opinion of who believes on that end.
Okay, so if it were tacitly untrue, right, and then people just believed it, so that they could be vitriolic towards whatever group of people, then they fell for it. Correct? I'm asking you if A is A is A. That's what I'm asking.
I mean, by your subjective content, yes,
Okay,
but it's
all right.
subjective. Let me.
It's
Go
subjective
ahead.
whether or not somebody
I'm
fell
sorry.
for
No, go
propaganda.
ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to be disrespectful.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Okay. So if the United States government recycled that old propaganda and people fell for that same propaganda today, did they not fall for the propaganda?
That's what I'm saying. The presentation of the question is improper.
All right. I'm asking you if X is X, is X X. I don't think
that's what I'm saying. It's you won't agree with my answer.
If you say anything other than yes, then then yes, I will disagree with your answer because I'm.
There we go.
Okay. All right. All right. So 1 + 1 is not 2. Is what you're saying.
Now you're being condescending.
Yeah, because you've now abandoned logic in order to try and keep from being proven wrong.
Just
it's
because
okay.
I don't.
I just want to finish. Smitty's trying to get out of here, and I don't need to hear you anymore because you're an unreasonable person. Listen, have y'all talked about?
Let me let Solid finish up his comment. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. Have y'all talked about Linda Taylor yet?
Yeah.
Have you spoken about Amy Bach at all? Smitty, have you spoken about Amy Bach at all?
I think early on in the panel, one panelist mentioned it.
One panelist mentioned Amy Bach, and the rest of the conversation has been about immigration. Okay, so Linda Taylor was one woman who was gaming the welfare system, who, while she was gaming the system, right, blah, 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 or whatever, she posed as many different racial identities. But she was undoubtedly, to the Reagan administration, black, right? Here we are in a conversation about Somali immigrants, where the owner of Feeding Our Future has only been mentioned once, right? And the rest of the conversation is about, should they be here? Should they not be here? FBA's, right? That is the purpose of the propaganda. The propaganda has done what it was supposed to have done. Amy Bach is a white woman, and one person brought Amy Bach up. That should tell you something. Thanks, Smitty. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. No, thank you for coming up. Appreciate you. We're going to go Karubo, and then we're going to Swan, and then we're going to close it out. Thank y'all for helping us close out the live strong. I appreciate that we It's been a while since I've had 360,000 likes. I appreciate that. Let me go to go ahead, Karuba.
Okay, I'm so happy to attend on this one and then to talk about our brothers and the future, what is supposed to be. And my brother who talked before me, he was talking about just the real thing. But just right now is what I try to mention is they want us to fight each other, to be against each other. We as a black, just not, I'm from Africa, so just I'm really loving. I've been working just a lot of time with our black brothers, but one brother he said that just they don't like us. I try to mention about that. Just when people came from a different country, they scared. Just first when I came to America, I was scared. I don't know who to believe who, and then the TV showed me just the black peoples are they just gang, they fight each other, they use a lot of F word and just on the music and a lot of things. So if somebody came and then just embrace me and teach me the way that you listen is not the thing that you hear from the media is not right. If when I came to new and just somebody didn't embrace me, just the thing gonna be just very just go low, because I need somebody who changed my mind. Like everybody think like Africa is like a just the scariest country or like a jungle. We see that I Show Speed what he do, that just the I Show Speed tours, and he opened, he show a lot of just what Africa look like, and then you guys see that how we embrace him. Just he go to West Africa, to East, to Ethiopia, and everywhere. Just he was so happy. So what I'm trying to show down here is just they try to divide us. They try to let us just against us. So we need to be together. Now we see that like Somalians and some other foreigners, tomorrow they're gonna come to our African American people. They're gonna come. They're gonna come to knock your door. They say that we don't need you right now. They start like it's not like are you American or not? No, they start like we don't like when your accent is not American. They start with the accent. Tomorrow they're gonna come like I say, you are black, you are not a white. At that time, who gonna stop just beside you? So we need to be together right now and to show them just this country belongs to every legal people. That means when they say illegal or something right now, they go to everybody who got a green card. That means it's illegal. It is in the system. They try to push us out. So we need to be together, man.
Okay, all right,
Thank you.
Cerebral. Thank you for your comment. I appreciate that. And we're gonna go to Swan. Swan, final comment. You get to close it out. And by the way, if there's someone going live, Swan, are you going live next, or who's going live that
I
we
think
can
I
raise?
am going to go up for a little bit.
Okay, we gonna raise your live then, fam. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And Covey's going live too. Okay, that's good.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll go to Covey's live then. We'll just go to Covey's.
Okay.
Oh, because I was already live. But
Go live now, fam, and then I don't think have I ever done a Smitty raid? I don't think I've ever done one. So we gotta do one.
yeah.
Go ahead, fam.
No, I thank you so much for having this discussion. I think the part that really I just like was frustrating was hearing when Pinpoint had said that they wish that Donald Trump would rev things up. It's what we're seeing right now is extremely problematic. Again, I literally laid out a list of the things that ICE has done that has traumatized people, and then there are a lot of us that are seeing this happen, and we're getting traumatized like just from watching it. Like it's impacting us in a major way, and I think that like again, a lot of this is coming down to how people are being radicalized and conditioned online. A lot of it is. And I think that we have to continue to pay attention to that. I also think that people like really need to like be serious about this and understand that like Minnesota is not going to be the only place that this is going to happen in. This is going to happen in other places. We know it's going to happen in other places. And I think instead of arguing about these things, right? And what's actually happening. We need to find and make community with people that understand what's happening. And then we need to find ways to protect ourselves. Like, that is going to be so crucial and so important. Because again, listen, an ICE agent unalived a woman who was a citizen, right? Who did nothing wrong. And then Trump did what the next 2 days after that? What, sent 2,000 agents out there, and now they're going door to door? Like, people really need to wake up and understand that, like, the bad shit is happening right now, and it's going to continue to happen. And we really need to be able to lean into each other and rely on each other to keep ourselves protected and safe.
I appreciate that, Swan. Yeah, absolutely. Community. That's what it's all about, you guys. All right. Let's go. Ray Covey's live. And I appreciate everybody for being up here. All the panelists. Thank y'all so much. Really good live. Again, we hit some issues that I think really needed to be addressed. So
Really,
much love to y'all.
Can I correct? Can I correct one quick thing? Can I correct one quick thing?
Okay, go ahead.
1325 is improper entry, which is a fine of $50, no more than $250, in or prison time up to 2 years. So, Penn, before you try to quote a U.S. code, you probably should actually read it.
All right. Thank you, as always, brother. Thank you, guys. I see the comments. Thank you. Much love to everybody. See y'all. Much love to everybody.
Juliana, you're clearly fired up about this, and I think you two should get together and talk outside of this phone call. Would you like to go on a second date? No, would you like to go on a second date with Sean? We'll pay for it.
I don't care how fast you say it, I'm not doing it.
What if I say it this fast? Would you go on a second date with him? What if it's that fast?
Stop! Come on, give him a chance. He's like dumb with social graces, maybe, but he doesn't sound like a bad person.
Well, dumb with social graces is not that attractive. I don't know. This is weird.
Look, whether you want to hang out again or not, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you what. I'll come back to your place tonight. I'll bring back your hangers, and I'll bring you a new set of new hangers.
No, you don't.
Did you hear that, though? He said he'd bring a brand new set.
Oh, that's an upgrade. You're right, Jubal.
I swear to God, if you come over tonight with those hangers, I'm going to shove them inside you.
Oh, okay. That was aggressive.
You never know. That could be even more incentive for him to come over.
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
Text in at 78592 says, that Julia woman from the second date update, only 2 words come to mind: whack job.
Yeah, very high pitched, man. When she gets mad.
Yeah. Except I kind of agree with her, though. I don't think she's that much of a whack job, really.
Yeah. Really? I mean, just because it's hangers doesn't mean it's not weird.
Yeah.